Okay, so now we're moving on. Now the negative is in a different spot. The negative is in the last number over there. Kind of like when the negative was there, we start off the exact same way. We're going to go all the way to, we're going to write out the red numbers, and only then our thing is going to change slightly. So it's going to be 1 and 3. This is going to be 1 and 5, 5 and 1. Write out the red numbers. That's going to be 5 and 3. This is going to be 1 and 15. Now we notice, again, we have to multiply to this and add up to this when we're expanding it. It's always going to multiply to the last number and add up to the middle. Since it has to multiply to the last number, the way you multiply to a negative is one has to be positive, one has to be negative. So what we're going to do is we're going to make one of these red numbers positive, one negative, and that has to give us 14. And how are we going to do that? In this case, we're going to make the 15 positive and the 1 negative. How are we going to make the 1 negative? That's 1 times 1, so that's going to be the negative, and that one's going to be the positive. And then we read it off, and we get x plus 5, 3x minus 1. Example 10. Same idea. So this one's just practice now. One and 5, 1 and 4, 4 and 1, 2 and 2. We don't have to flip the 2 and the 2 because it's the same thing. The last number is negative, which means it's going to be a positive and a negative. I should have done the red numbers first. 1 times 4 is 4, 5 times 1 is 5, 1 times 1 is 1, and 20, that's going to be the winner. We need to get negative 19. So to get negative 19, this one has to be negative, and that one has to be positive. So to get negative 20, that one's going to be negative, that one's going to be positive, and we're going to go end up with x minus 4, 5x plus 1. Okay, 11's actually kind of the same. All I switched was I switched the, instead of minus 19x, I made it plus 19x in the middle. So everything's going to be the same. It's still going to be 1 and the 5, 1 and 4, 4 and 1, 2 and 2. We're going to have the same red numbers, 4 and 5, 1 and 20, 2 and 10. The difference is that we need to get positive 19 now. So how do we get positive 19? Well, what we do is we're going to make the 20 positive and the 1 negative. How do we make the 1 negative? That's negative, that's positive. So this is going to be x plus 4 and 5x minus 1. So if you compare it to the other one, it's kind of, the one before that had x minus 4, 5. So notice the minuses and the pluses essentially switch sides, and that caused the middle term to change.